It is Wednesday, January 31st, 2018. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And it was a victorious, although very, very tiring, get your ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu Wednesday. Something very, very special happened for me anyway. I've been feeling like really, I don't know how to explain it. Like my lung capacity has just been shit the last, I don't know, like week or so. And I've been trying to work it back. And I think it just, little breaks in my jiu-jitsu schedule that, because I had to shuffle shit around and whatnot. And of course, it's that time of year when we all put on an additional pound or two because of goodies laying around and whatnot. So, unfortunately, I am not immune to this, and I picked up an additional 5 or 6 pounds, something like that. Anyway, so, I haven't been able to go as hard as I would really like to, or, I don't know, I haven't been feeling the ability to go as hard as I'd like to, but today I kind of pushed it a little bit, and so I was rolling with, and we were just doing basic pass keep. But I happened to be paired off with a brown belt, and while he and I were rolling, and actually I think we were just doing a regular rolling session by now, I managed to catch him in a guillotine choke. It was one of those things where it's like my arm was in the right position, his neck was in the right position. I just bent my elbow, brought my hand up, and unfortunately, I didn't actually finish it off. I mean, I had it tight enough that if I would have rolled just a teeny bit further over and hooked my wrist a little further around his throat, that I would have been able to get like a single arm guillotine. It was that fucking deep. I mean, I could feel his throat all the way around my arm, and like I said, if I'd have just had my guillotine a little sharper, I would have caught it properly and I'd have choked him out. And but I mean, the thing is, he's a brown belt, and he's not a slouch either. The guy is really good. It's just he goes off of my energy, and like I can tell though that like when he gets pissed, he tightens up and straightens out so fast that I have a lot of trouble catching up to him. And so, I know that he's like taking it easy on me because I'm Mr. White Belt and whatnot, but I mean, like literally he walked right into that guillotine, and if I'd have secured it a little better, he'd have gone night. But anyway, it's so rare for me that I even get the opportunities, or that I feel I get the opportunity to get somebody in a submission. But that one was pretty damn close. He did almost get me in a Kimura, and I managed to negotiate out of that. But yeah, solid guillotine. Like I said, I just needed to sink it just a millimeter more and tie it off right, and that would have been it. It would have been night. But I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just celebrating because it's so rare, and I feel good that it finally happened. And I mean, does that make me some sort of weirdo that I feel excited that I almost strangled somebody, or am I just human? And just had the opportunity, right? I'm sure there's some part of your day when you interact with somebody that you just like to wrap your arms around and just strangle the shit out of them. Well, I get that opportunity 3 times a week. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back into some music, or throw into some initial music, because we haven't even done our first dance yet. And, what the hell? Antisocial by Anthrax, First Dance, here on Coin Metal. And that was Helmet with a little bit of Drunk in the Afternoon. Yeah, my apologies on that. It was a little overly long, but I had to get my smoke break on. Yes, terribly terribly exciting, very productive, and victorious jiu-jitsu today. And so exactly what to talk about? Well, I've got like 8 billion tabs open, and I mean, like, I'm serious. Like, I'm starting to get concerned that maybe at least one of them has some sort of fucking mining Monero through my browser. I hate that shit. Don't you hate that shit? I mean, what's wrong with people that they can't just accept your willing hash rate? No. They gotta try and steal from you. It's fucking bullshit. Anyway, the first one, and I gotta start with the first tab, because this one, we've been following this a little bit closer and a little more consistently than a lot of other media outlets, and I think it's incumbent upon us to at least report on this part of it here. Coin Journal's got this article here by Joseph Young. I'm going to assume by the name, yes, penis. South Korea finance minister says no Bitcoin and cryptocurrency ban. Although it has been made clear by the South Korean government on several occasions that a ban on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading will not be imposed, parts of the market have remained bearish, still concerned about the possibility of a ban in the long term. On January 31st, South Korea's finance minister Kim Dong-yeon clarified their stance, announcing that the government has no plans to ban cryptocurrency trading in the short or long term. Quote, "There is no intention to ban or suppress cryptocurrency market," said Kim. Instead, he emphasized that the government has started to strictly regulate the South Korean cryptocurrency exchange market to protect investors. Quote, "Customs Service has been closely looking at illegal foreign exchange trading using cryptocurrency as part of the government's task force." My goodness, they're actually using the blockchain for what it's meant for. Tracking fucking transactions. Continuing on. Over the past 2 weeks, the South Korean government has demonstrated that it intends to properly regulate the market. Most major cryptocurrency exchanges, including Upbit and Corebit, were fined for poor security measures, and traders taking advantage of the arbitrage opportunity in the South Korean cryptocurrency market were penalized. Ooh. This week, South Korean Customs stated that approximately $596 million worth of foreign exchanges crimes were identified, and illicit cryptocurrency trading accounted for more than 80%. Several criminal organizations that conducted fraudulent operations in the domestic market, including an illegal FX agency, have been fined and shut down. Previously, South Korea's Fair Trade Commission chairman Kim Sang-jo stated that banning cryptocurrency trading is unrealistic due to the magnitude of the market and its exponential rate of growth. In recent months, the South Korean cryptocurrency exchange market has processed more daily trades than the country's stock market. The economic impact of banning cryptocurrency trading would be immense, and the South Korean government would not be able to handle it, Kim stated. Quote, "Banning cryptocurrency exchanges is not realistically possible. Based on the electronic commerce law, the government doesn't even have the authority to close down cryptocurrency trading platforms. From the viewpoint of an economist, it is not a fair and transparent decision to outright ban economic activity. Whether it is excessive speculation or not, the gain or the loss is the responsibility of the investor." Oh my goodness! Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Kim, could not have said it better myself, except for watch out for your own bunghole. In the coming weeks, the market will likely recover, given that 6 major banks, including Shinhan Bank, the country's second biggest bank, have started to support cryptocurrency exchanges with banking services and virtual bank accounts. It is expected that exchanges in the country will soon be accepting new users again, following a period in which only existing users were allowed to trade. Oh my goodness, frabjous day, people. Now that the government has clarified their stance and begun to enforce regulations, it is expected that the local market will become more bullish and new users will sign up to exchanges, further increasing daily trading volume. Absolutely, that is a completely predictable, feasible, and realistic outcome. Thank you, South Korean Finance Minister, for clarifying. Thank you, Mr. Joseph Young, for writing this excellent article. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, there you have it. Some final word as to whether or not the South Korean government was going to shit or get off the pot. Now, I've heard allegations, and honestly, it's almost certainly true. Whether it involves the specific individuals that were indicated to me, I have no idea. But there's been some indication that at least one of these finance ministers or one of these mucky mucks, one of them has a relative that was making a gratuitous sum of money trading. And, yeah. I mean, this is predictable, people. This is completely predictable. Venezuela's event where, they were hammering down on Bitcoin miners only to find out that the cops were stealing the fucking mining equipment and setting it up at their own house. I mean, come on. The banks have just capitulated in South Korea. I want you to conceptualize this now, okay? They due to the lack of regulatory friction keeping traders out, the amount of economic activity that was created or facilitated by the trading of cryptocurrencies is in excess of their stock market. The stock market's been there for a while, I'm sure. Hell of a lot longer than cryptocurrency trading. And now they're moving more money around now with cryptocurrency in South Korea on cryptocurrency exchanges than their normal markets. And their government has had the realization moment. Okay? The next stage is facilitation. That's right, folks. Facilitation. That is, hey, that Hyundai plant that we shut down last month because we are not getting a lot of demand for cars, we're going to retool that bitch, and Samsung's getting serious about making mining equipment, so we'll go ahead and sublease it to Samsung, and we'll make them a chip fab in the same site, and we're going to get rolling on this shit. Facilitation, folks. Facilitation. I'm talking about tariff relief. I'm talking about income tax relief. I'm talking about get your ass in here. Let's start doing 16-hour shifts, rolling this shit out. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about facilitation, government relaxation on certain regulations, hopefully not ecological, because we would like to go into the future leaving it cleaner than the past. And I think additive technologies is as opposed to subtractive. I think that's going to be the big key in manufacturing going forward. So a lot of the waste that we've been generating in our manufacturing is not going to be generated. But I think people are finally starting to get realistic about what we're doing. You know? And I think they're starting to see the same kind of things that we've seen this whole time. That this is for all of us. You know, this is not a playground that's, you know, divided up by geography or religion or fucking governmental structure or anything like that. And that it's in realistic terms, it's a more honest means of monetary transfer than we have ever had. We do this shit internationally via various mediums. I mean, I could be giving phone calls to people in South Korea, in North Korea, in Bangladesh, in fucking the Netherlands, in New Zealand, and I could be reading them off private keys for a fucking wallet, and they could be cashing that shit. Tell me you can stop that. I could mail a letter to Kuala Lumpur or fucking British Columbia or DC, anywhere with a fucking paper wallet in it, unbeknownst to everybody. I could watermark it in a picture, you never even fucking know it was there. You need to stop that? Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. The best you can do at this point is hope that people will be relatively honest on their income taxes and that they will actually pay income taxes on what they're making. That's the best you can hope for at this point. And I think the Borg said it best: resistance is futile. And you know, we're finding that again and again and again and again. Zimbabwe, they tried to get restrictive. What happened? Fucking Bitcoin was $10,000 in Zimbabwe before it was $10,000 anywhere else. And it was just because of the market constriction. It's like, oh shit, not as many markets are available to us. They've shut down a few exchanges. They've shut down some mining. Now there's a premium on locally mined Bitcoins. Now there's a premium on the Bitcoin that is available to you. You know, if you don't have access to all of the exchanges out there, the people that do have the access to the exchanges outside of Zimbabwe are now the recipients of a premium because they're going to be importing fucking Bitcoin into Zimbabwe because they're going to be rolling it over for their local currency. You can't stop this shit. You just can't. You know, and I think it's becoming clear that most of us really don't want to use Bitcoin as a Visa card. I mean, we've seen a significant drop in transaction traffic on the Bitcoin network, and I'm absolutely certain that's at least partially due to the excessive fees that people have just said, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to move my money around on Ethereum's network. I'm going to move it around on Bitcoin Cash's network. I'm going to use Verge. I'm going to use Litecoin. I'm going to use something else. Something that I don't get raped so fucking hard trying to move my money from point A to point B. And I don't know why anybody involved in Bitcoin is tone deaf to that idea at this point, because I'm sure everybody has felt it just a little bit. You know, and I mean, you know, it's neat to put a little bit of hope in Lightning and all that, and it's really neat technology, but I think it's great for something in-house. It's not something that you'd want to be using outside. You know, I think if you were like a gas station owner, you know, you own like 7 or 8 gas stations, doing Lightning Network transactions between yourselves would be fucking awesome. You know, just have your own little channel open for all of your transactive activity happening on your little Lightning node, fucking payment channel, whatever, and transmitting out. I mean, but then, you have to wonder what kind of friction you might experience there. See, that's always one of the last things they talk about with regard to that technology, and it kind of saddens me, But I think that Bitcoin will survive this, because most of the transactive activity going on out there is regular Bitcoin transactions still. And I think that that's going to stay pretty much the same and well into the future. As for our next article, I had like half a dozen on here that I really wanted to talk about. Oh, well, why not? This is another one of them naysayers gone fanboy or some equivalent of such. This is on ccn.com. Goldman Sachs isn't launching a trading desk because it already owns one. Recently, Goldman Sachs chief executive Lloyd Blankfein shot down long-standing rumors that the investment bank was launching a cryptocurrency trading desk. Now we know the reason why the bank already owns one. Goldman Sachs not launching Bitcoin trading desk. As early as October last year, there were rumors that Goldman Sachs was considering opening the first major Wall Street cryptocurrency trading desk. By the end of the year, sources familiar with the matter were saying that the firm had already begun hiring personnel to staff the trading desk, which would be operated out of New York. What a fucking coincidence. I bet they've got a fucking BitLicense. However, Blankfein rebuffed those reports during an interview with CNBC at the World Economic Forum, which was held in Davos earlier this month. Quote, "What we said was, we were clearing futures in Bitcoin for some of our futures clients. We'd cleared them. We're a prime broker, and so if our clients are going to do it, we're going to do it," he said. Quote, "A principal Bitcoin business where we're going long and short. Market making, so far, we're not." What he didn't say was Goldman Sachs already owns a cryptocurrency trading desk. In fact, it has since 2015. Goldman's hidden cryptocurrency trading stake. Okay, strictly speaking, it's not a Goldman Sachs trading desk, and the bank isn't a majority stakeholder in the venture, but as Quartz pointed out this week, Goldman Sachs was the lead investor in Circle's 2015 funding round, which raised $50 million for the fintech startup. In addition to its flagship Circle Pay service, the company also operates Circle Trade, which provides liquidity for cryptocurrency exchange markets and also manages over-the-counter trading for large institutional clients seeking to place minimum orders of $250,000. According to the company's website, it directly trades $2 billion worth of cryptocurrencies per month, making it one of the larger crypto-focused trading operations. The firm's next eponymous, kind of like synonymous, but not really, eponymous service will further expand the firm's cryptocurrency-related offerings and Goldman Sachs' exposure to the nascent industry that Blankfein has called, quote, "a vehicle to perpetuate fraud." They would know all about that, wouldn't they? Slated to launch in March, Circle Invest will provide retail investors with access to a commission-free to commission-free cryptocurrency trading. Wow, that's interesting. Well, there you have it. Goldman Sachs is already involved in Bitcoin, already involved in cryptocurrency trading. And like that's any surprise, we see them moving about our markets, sucking up all kinds of liquidity. And so it's, it's not really surprising, honestly. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And, what the hell? A little bit of Pantera, Walk, here on Coin Metal. And that was 12-Foot Ninja with One Hand Killing. I love that song. Anyway, more on to how they're starting to actually take us a little more seriously out there in the quote-unquote real world. And that includes all kinds of interesting outcomes thus far. This one is not a surprise to me at all. As a matter of fact, I believe I've probably predicted this like 8 times on this show over the span that I've been on it. In, 2 years, roughly. Anyway, here it is. This is on Cointelegraph. This is by Gareth Jenkinson. Authored approximately, 10 hours ago. Samsung ASIC chips. Positive news for miners. As reported earlier this week in Korean news outlet The Bell, the South Korean conglomerate will produce application-specific integrated circuits processing chips in its own foundry in a deal with Taiwanese manufacturer TSMC. Ironically, TSMC provides the ASIC chips used in Bitmain's Antminers, but its new partnership with Samsung could very well provide the first real competitor to Bitmain's chip manufacturing ventures. Bitmain's stranglehold. Chinese mining giant Bitmain has long held a monopoly on the mining community. Having developed ASIC chips, Bitmain quickly turned the Bitcoin mining game on its head. ASIC miners, which are highly efficient at solving the SHA-256 algorithm used to confirm transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain, outperform traditional GPUs, which muscled hobby miners and their existing graphics cards out of the market. With its own mining farms powered by its in-house signature ASIC miners, Bitmain has become somewhat of a black sheep in the mining community due to its 29% global hashing power dominance through its Antpool and BTC.com mining pools. The big dogs enter mining. Samsung's foray into the cryptocurrency mining space has a number of ramifications for the mining community. It signals the arrival of a mainstream global electronics conglomerate to the cryptocurrency space. Samsung has established itself as one of the top global producers of high-quality electronics, and it's looking likely that its ASIC chips will be highly efficient and powerful. A number of mainstream tech firms may consider following suit, given the massive demand for ASIC mining units worldwide. One only needs to look at the demand for Bitmain's flagship S9 Antminers. Recent batches launched on its website have sold out within minutes, highlighting the voracious appetite for quality ASIC miners. A household name like Samsung further legitimizes cryptocurrency mining as a viable business venture. While it will almost certainly be a revenue booster for Samsung, the company shied away from making any financial predictions on the new venture. The true tester will be the mining community's feedback once the new chips are launched. Reports suggest that the mass production of the chips began in January of 2018, while Samsung are said to be developing GPU mining chips which will be focused on altcoin mining algorithms. This could be a boon for Ethereum miners in particular, however further announcements will be needed to provide clarity there. Samsung are said to be producing chips for the Chinese market first and foremost, so it's not clear when the rest of the world will have access to Samsung-powered ASIC miners. I guarantee you it ain't going to be fucking very long. I expect that mining, should it become too much of an issue, the centralization that people always bitch about, it's going to inspire companies like IBM and Intel to get off their fucking asses and start making some fucking mining chips. I mean, I've been predicting this for a long time now, and we've seen it expressed throughout the video card market. Anytime some new batch of 1080s comes out on the market, forget about it. If you're a gamer and you want some of the higher end cards for your gaming experience, good luck, pal. I mean, seriously, the market is it's pretty harsh out there with regard to video cards, and it's getting better because the guys at Nvidia and others have taken up that challenge of making just mining cards. And so this thing with Samsung getting into that aspect, oh my goodness. If they go double prong like that, dude, forget about it. If you're Intel, if you're IBM, if you've got chip manufacturing capacity, Motorola, any of you, fucking get on the stick. Get in the game, because this is it. This is going to drive the next significant speed boosts that we see in computing. I have absolutely no doubt about it. That you get these people talking shit saying that Moore's Law is bullshit and that we've gone beyond Moore's Law. That's bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit. This is going to drive people to make those next developments, get us up a notch or two with regard to efficiency, quality, the quality of the output, the duration of use. All of these things are going to be up for improvement. And I can't accept this idea that there's going to be some sort of upper limit that we just never reach. That we ever reach with regard to computing. I think it's just going to keep getting faster and faster and faster. As a matter of fact, I found something else in here. This is going to be, I think, significant for us. And fuck it, I'll go for it. It's on PRN or PRNewsWire.com. WRIT Media Group inks deal with Optical Digital Transmission Company for crypto mining transistor technology. And this is news provided by RIT Media Group Inc. January 22nd, 2018 at 10:21 Eastern Time. No indication of AM or PM. Beverly Hills, California, January 22nd, blah, blah, blah. In Optical Digital Transmission Company, we feel we have found a good technology partner that can help us grow our crypto mining business via truly unique product offerings and take us ahead of our competitors for years to come, said Chief Executive Eric Mitchell. This will be a win-win for both organizations, and we will explore similar agreements. I skipped over some of this because it looked like it was just bragging bullshit. Here, I'm going to start from the beginning here. Let's see. RIP Media Group Inc. has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Optical Digital Transmission Company, ODTC, to purchase 10% of outstanding equity in ODTC to collaborate on the development of crypto mining processor technology. Optical Digital Transmission Company has developed an optical transistor technology as registered under U.S. Patent US 705335982, which uses optical transistors for computing. Optical transistors have the potential to exceed the speed of electronic transistors, while consuming less power and emitting less heat. In addition to bringing innovative crypto mining technology to WRIT's Pelecoin software platform, the new deal will include partial ownership in the U.S. patent, which has value across a wide variety of computing systems. Quote, in Optical Digital Transmission Company, we feel we have found a good technology partner that can help us grow our crypto mining business via truly unique product offerings and take us ahead of our competitors for years to come, said Chief Executive Eric Mitchell. This will be a win-win for both organizations, and we will explore similar agreements with other technology companies that represent tangible strategic value for Pelecoin digital currency software. RIP Media's Pelecoin is a token which is emitted based on the Pelecoin software platform that enables the simultaneous quote mining of a basket of up to 50 cryptocurrencies combined with a trading algorithm that liquidates the most profitable coins and or trades between them to make the basket more valuable. I don't see any feature in that, but I could be wrong. In addition to enhancing the features of its Pelecoin technology, RIP Media Group is investing in client acquisition across all businesses and geographies that will benefit from its Pelecoin platform, including large established organizations as well as emerging growth companies. As a result, RIP Media intends to accelerate growth by adding new business lines, new clients, and expanding the digital currency quote mining capabilities of existing clients, as well as develop new revenue models for business growth. Pelecoin is now available to the public by registering for a free Pelecoin account by downloading the Pelecoin miner in order to start mining. For additional information and to register, follow the link pelecoin.com, which we're going to do anyway, just to do it. About RIP Media Group. RIP Media Group Inc. is a diversified media and software company whose operations include digital currency software development, including trading platforms and blockchain solutions, content production and distribution, and video game distribution via mobile platforms. Cautionary note regarding forward-looking statements. Except for historical information contained herein, the matters discussed in the press release are forward-looking statements that involve risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from those predicted by such forward-looking statements. Investors are cautioned that all forward-looking statements involve risks and uncertainties, including, but not limited to, those discussed in RIP Media Group's latest 10-K filed July 14th, 2017, the company undertakes no obligation to publicly update or revise any forward-looking statement, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise. Yeah, okay. That right there is a cop-out, and you just lost a great deal of your credibility with me. But this idea, this optical transistor, that's similar to an idea I had a while back. However, I don't know how it would work, and I didn't know then either. But this Pelicoin, yeah, I don't know about all that. But the idea of a optical transistor, I'm pretty sure that would enhance things as light travels fast. Anyway, but yeah, I think that whether or not that particular development is the next bump up, you know, and I'm backing out now because you don't make those kind of claims and then put a little back out at the end like that unless you're predicting failure as a certainty. But that's just my take on it. But I do expect that there will be some new bump, whether it be just going down to 7 nanometers or 5 nanometers or whatever nanometers or fucking angstroms or whatever, I don't know. Point being that there will be another bump. I can't predict what it'll be, but it'll most likely be driven by Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining in general. That the technology will be first used by us or initiated by us. You know, that it'll be first used by us, basically. And we'll prove it out. It'll work really great for us, and then other people will say, gosh, you know, maybe we should use that over here. And that's just the way it's going to go. I think that cryptocurrencies and cryptocurrency mining are basically going to save humanity because we're going to create a new demand for computing. And the faster it is, the more efficient it is, the more money it makes us. So now the incentives are all aligned to make shit as efficient as humanly fucking possible, as technologically possible. And the outcome of that will be far cleaner, far more efficient manufacturing technologies than we currently have, because we'll be driving efficiency with its proper incentives. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw down some music here. I want to throw down a little bit of Within the Ruins, New Holy War, here on Coin Metal. And that was some old school Megadeth there with Peace Sells. Well, you know, I think the issue back in the 80s is that we couldn't figure out a way to monetize peace. And so, therefore, Megadeth had to write that song, right? But I think we have figured it out. We've monetized it. Because think about it this way. If you bomb people, they can't buy your coin. It's as simple as that. You know, if you're bombing them, they probably don't have electricity, so they're probably not mining, and they're probably not in any position to be buying your coin or using your coin to transact with. So, you know, that's kind of it's kind of bad for business, you know. So yeah, like I said, I think we just haven't had the right capabilities to participate in peace. But now, you know, the more of us there are, the stronger the fucking networks are. And so now it's incentivized. Holy crap, you know, if I bomb that guy, the network might go down and, well, fuck. You know, then all my coin will be worth nothing. Well, I don't want to do that. Fuck that. I don't want to go broke. Do you want to go broke? Anyway. There are multiple implications of companies and more aspects of the quote-unquote mainstream taking us a little more seriously. And this one, I found it was entertaining. At least the clickbaity sounding title. But, you know, I've commented a lot on this show that the SEC and the CFTC, they seem to be getting their minds around cryptocurrency and starting to produce some very actionable information as far as how government, or at least the United States government, intends to, I don't know, deal with cryptocurrencies. And you know, I think it's a healthy thing. Honestly, the perspective that they seem to be taking now seems to be a healthier tack than they were previously on. I mean, I'm sure the Obamas and the Obamaites were looking at cryptocurrencies saying, "Oh fuck, we got to do something to get rid of this because this is just going to fuck us in the ass later on." But I'm sure that every one of their information entities that like goes around between departments and assimilates data and shit, we're coming back to them and saying, no, that's probably not a really good idea because this shit's global, and if we cut ourselves out now, we're probably going to be screwing ourselves bigger in the future. So it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing, right? Well, I think they're over the wait and see and starting to, like I said, get realistic about their perspective. However, I don't know how far to trust their perspective. And that's the thing, is that I've already seen what I consider to be illegitimate uses of governing authority over cryptocurrencies in our markets. You know, specifically with the Ross Ulbricht case. They railroaded that kid. It completely fucking railroaded him. He has no business in a fucking jail cell. You know, Charlie Shrem, another guy, never deserved a fucking jail cell. Never did anything that was worthy of imprisonment. But here we are on the other side of that one, and now we have just Ross Ulbricht to get the fuck out of prison. Because, honestly, 2 life sentences for doing what he was doing, give me a fucking break. He was providing you with a functional model of what cryptocurrencies are capable of providing with regard to commerce. Period. Commerce. Not just drugs, not just prostitution or whatever else was going on the Silk Road. Commerce. And when you consider what the implications are further down the road there, that participants that are maybe manufacturing small quantities of things, maybe not quite industrial production level, they would suddenly have available to them markets global in scale and more than large enough to produce a persistent enough market to bother enhancing their own production capacity. And again, more fucking money, people. What? I don't get that. You know, why anybody would be against facilitating more commerce? You know, I mean, come on now. The more commerce is going on, the more money we have. And if we have more money, then we might feel that your government project is worthy of investment. And we might buy bonds in that and shit. And holy crap. What kind of good things do you think might come out of that? See, I think ultimately cryptocurrencies are going to make government more accountable. Not just on the fact that all of their transactions are on blockchains that we can examine at any time, which I do foresee coming. because we're going to be looking at them in the not so distant future, and we're going to be saying, hey, look, we got this global network called Bitcoin. It's been running consistently for the last 9 years. We can log every single transaction that was ever done on this network. But for some reason, we can't do that with the Federal Reserve's books. And that's not really tolerable. You know, I mean, the idea that you're going to create your own fucking blockchain and be mining your own fucking blockchain and not involving us in it, that's not an option anymore. And I don't think there's been a single case where a government has said, we are going to make a cryptocurrency, and that cryptocurrency is actually launched and functioned or stayed live for very long. I don't think there's a single instance of it. If there is, I'm just wholly unaware. Which is possible, because, I mean, crypto is huge and gets bigger every day. But, again, I'm not hearing about, digital ruples up there with Ethereum and Bitcoin on Bittrex. If I'm not hearing about it there, then it's completely fucking worthless, because it can't compete with those currencies. Those currencies are global in scale, global in distribution. Their markets are global in distribution. So, again, why am I going to use your coin if you can't compete with wholly voluntary ad hoc networks that have been running for, 2 to 9 years now, depending on which currency we're talking about? I think that's another thing that we're establishing here in cryptocurrencies that not a lot of people really anticipated, that we would be establishing a new regime for verification. I mean, I think the blockchain, it's just a fucking buzzword, okay? Because the blockchain, in my book, it's the shit, okay? The cow that produces the shit is the miners. If there's no miners, then the shit isn't worth a shit. Because the miners and their work validate the shit. No miners, no good work. It completely defeats the purpose of Bitcoin to do things like Lightning Network, because it takes all of the fucking business that's happening out of the shit. It's like, oh no, we're going to take it out of the cow, and then the product at the end, we're still going to call that shit. We're gonna take the cow completely out of validating and verifying it, except for at the very end of our year-long worth of transaction records that we've been accumulating to make it worth it. But that we're going to take all the stuff out of the shit, and we're still going to call it Bitcoin, even though it's not really. I think that turning Bitcoin into a refillable Visa card, or making you spend Bitcoin like it's a refillable Visa card, is a bunch of fucking bullshit. Anyway, on to the SEC as we had started here. This is on bitcoinmagazine.com, authored by Sean Gordon. No indication of penis, so Sean is primarily a male name, so we're going to go ahead and say yes, penis. SEC halts Arise Bank ICO, calling it an outright scam. Oh, bold words from the SEC. In a statement from the Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, an emergency relief action was filed to shut down Arise Bank, which it described as, quote, an outright scam. In a growing list of enforcement actions by the SEC, the complaint against Arise Bank stated that the Dallas Bank Company had used deceptive tactics to raise what they claim was $600 million of its $1 billion goal in just 2 months. Co-founders Jared Rice Sr. and Stanley Ford are being charged with alleged fraud and issuing unregistered securities during its ICO. On January 18th, Arise Bank had announced the purchase of two FDIC-insured banks, KFMC Bank Holding Company and TPBG, neither of which exist. Arise Bank also offered customers an Arise Bank branded Visa card to spend any of the 700 plus cryptocurrencies using their purported algorithmic trading application that automatically trades in various cryptocurrencies, in addition to allegedly failing to disclose the criminal background of key executives. Whatever. Who gives a fuck about that? Co-director of the SEC's Enforcement Division, Stephanie Avakian, said, quote, "We allege that Arise Bank and its principals sought to raise hundreds of millions from investors by misrepresenting the company as a first-of-its-kind decentralized bank offering its own cryptocurrency to be used for a broad range of customer products and services." Avakian continued, quote, "We sought emergency relief to prevent investors from being victimized by what we allege to be an outright scam." Arise Bank had recently announced it was teaming up with boxing legend Evander Holyfield to help raise money for disaster preparedness. Now, however, the cease and desist order has been executed. Their office and executives' homes have been raided, their assets have been seized, their website is down, and their ICO has been stopped. SEC Co-Director Stephen Pekin said, quote, "This is the first time the Commission has sought the appointment of a receiver in connection with an ICO fraud. We will use all of our tools and remedies to protect investors from those who engage in fraudulent conduct in the emerging digital currencies marketplace," or digital securities marketplace. They call it securities, it's not. But there you have it. SEC taking proactive measures against potential scammers in the cryptocurrency space. It's not unexpected. We've been anticipating something like this, and as a matter of fact, we're going to read their statement because we have it right here. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission's website, which is www.sec.gov, and so this is in the press release department. SEC halts alleged initial coin offering scam for immediate release, and this is 2018-8, whatever that means. Washington, D.C., January 30th, 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission obtained a court order halting an allegedly fraudulent ICO offering, initial coin offering, that targeted retail investors to fund what it claimed to be the world's first, quote, decentralized bank. According to the SEC's complaint filed in federal court in Dallas on January 25th and unsealed late yesterday, Dallas-based Arise Bank used social media, a celebrity endorsement, and other wide dissemination tactics to raise what it claims to be $600 million of its $1 billion goal in just 2 months. Arise Bank and its co-founders, Jared Rice Sr. and Stanley Ford, allegedly offered and sold unregistered investments in their purported, quote, Arise Coin cryptocurrency by depicting Arise Bank as a first-of-its-kind decentralized bank, offering a wide variety of consumer-facing banking products and services using more than 700 different virtual currencies. Arise Bank's sales pitch claimed that it developed an algorithmic trading application that automatically trades in various cryptocurrencies. The SEC alleges that Arise Bank's falsely stated that it purchased an FDIC-insured bank, which enabled it to offer customers FDIC-insured accounts, and that it also offered customers the ability to obtain an Arise Bank branded Visa card to spend any of these 700 plus cryptocurrencies. Arise Bank also allegedly omitted to disclose the criminal background of its key executives. Quote, "We allege that Arise Bank and its principals sought to raise hundreds of millions of dollars from investors by misrepresenting the company as a first-of-its-kind decentralized bank, offering its own cryptocurrency to be used for a broad range of customer products and services. We sought emergency relief to prevent investors from being victimized by what we allege to be an outright scam," Stephanie Avakian, co-director of the SEC's Enforcement Division. Now let's see, we already read that next paragraph. This is the first time Commission has sought appointment of a receiver, blah, blah, blah. Shamoil T. Shipchandler, director of the SEC's Fort Worth Regional Office, said, "Attempting to conceal what we allege to be fraudulent securities offerings under the veneer of technological terms like ICO or cryptocurrency will not escape the Commission's oversight or its efforts to protect investors." The court approved an emergency asset freeze over Arise Bank, Rice, and Ford, and appointed a receiver over Arise Bank, including over its digital assets. The SEC intervened to protect digital assets before they could be dissipated, enabling the receiver to immediately secure various cryptocurrencies held by Arise Bank, including Bitcoin, Litecoin, BitShares, Dogecoin, and BitUSD. Arise Coin's public sale began around December 26, 2017, and was originally scheduled to conclude on January 27, 2018, with distribution to investors on February 10, 2018. The SEC seeks preliminary and permanent injunctions, disgorgement of ill-gotten gains, plus interest and penalties, and bars against Rice and Ford to prohibit them from serving as officers or directors of a public company or offering digital securities again in the future. The SEC's investigation was conducted by David Hersich and supervised by Jessica McGee and Eric Werner in the Fort Worth Regional Office in coordination with the Enforcement Division's Cyber Unit. The litigation is being conducted by Timothy Evans, Christopher Davis, and Mr. Hersich, and supervised by David Frazier. The SEC appreciates the assistance of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, U.S. Attorney's Office for Northern District of Texas, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, and Texas Department of Banking. Investors in Arise Bank ICO who believe they may be victim are asked to report to the SEC as a tip or a complaint. The SEC's Office of Investor Education and Advocacy issued an investor alert in August of 2017 warning investors about scams of companies claiming to be engaging in initial coin offerings. And yes, as a matter of fact, I do believe I read that on this show. So yeah, there you have it. The SEC hath dropped the hammer on those bad boys. Now, here's the thing. They should have at the very least, let them get to their damn coin launch. If they failed to make good, if what was showing on, say, Ethereum's network was that their coin was less than they said it was, or a higher volume of coins than they said, or something to indicate that they were actually engaging in fraudulent activity, then that's the time to act. But getting ahead of their initial coin launch, I think that was a little bit premature. But that's just my how should I say it? My feelings on it. But yeah, so we have expected this. It's nothing we hadn't anticipated. However, I do think that at some point or another they're going to get a little bit frivolous or over prosecutorial or some shit on this, and they are going to get their hand chopped off and taken to court and shit. But they have yet to hit that point, so we'll see. We'll see how it actually shakes out in court. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music, and I've been wanting to play some Meshuggah, so here we go. Glints Collide, here on Coin Metal. And that's a little bit of newer Anthrax there with For All Kings. And I just looked at their tour dates, and I'm a little disappointed because it seems they're going to skip right over my state. They're going to hit up Washington. They're going to hit up California. They're going to just jump right over me. I'm sure it was somebody's oversight. Just didn't remember that I'm here. Anyway, remember what we were talking about before with the SEC and their first movements and the ICO that they were busting down on, the Arise Bank, and their claims of having a super secret means of algorithmically trading cryptocurrencies against one another to guarantee profit? Well, did that sound at all familiar to you? I mean, have you heard anything like that before? If you haven't, you are going to now. Here we are at Pelicoin's website. And let's see if they have an actual white paper. No. No white paper. That's like number one that you gotta kind of hold into question. Anyway, continuing on, I'm just going to read their bullet point presentation here. The liquidity of PLCN is, quote, guaranteed. Number one, the PLCN token is 100% insured by the basket of included cryptocurrencies. Number two, when buying PLCN through Ethereum, the entire amount is transferred to a special depository account on U.S. exchanges Kraken and Bittrex, where it is converted into crypto coins included in the PLCN structure in the defined proportions. At this time, the system generates an appropriate amount of new PLCN coins, which are automatically credited to the user's wallet. Number three, the system guarantees the user an ability of withdrawing PLCN into Ethereum at the market price at any time. Pelicoin mining is optimized. Number one, Pelicoin provides an easy-to-use downloadable software for PLCN mining. 2. Pelicoin Miner switches automatically to the cryptocurrency from the top 300 cryptocurrencies that allow GPU mining, which currently has a maximum profitability of mining. Number 3. The coins received from mining are immediately converted into the currencies of the PLCN basket. Number 4. The user account is credited with the PLCN coins, which can easily be converted into other currencies. Every user may be a partner. Number 1. Coming soon, users will be able to purchase PLCS tokens. Pelicoin System, PLCS, is a cryptocurrency token that participates in the operations and planning development activities of the Pelicoin system. Proceeds accumulated by the Pelicoin system will be shared with the PLCS token holders in proportion to their PLCS holdings. Now, I don't know if you were paying attention during the description of Arise Coin, but they supposedly have, some series of cryptocurrencies in their basket too, that they're supposedly trading via some wonderbutt algorithmic shit that just puts coins into your fucking wallet. Personally, I think all promises of this nature are scamalicious. I consider it as scammy as the idea of connecting any kind of commodity such as gold or oil or even US dollars to a cryptocurrency. You can't do it. You cannot peg a cryptocurrency and something else of value, not even other cryptocurrencies. I mean, to some extent that you can, in the case of like Ethereum, where the tokens, the ICO tokens that are on top of it are essentially, I guess this is why the SEC would have such a hold over them, but they are essentially a security that is backed by Ethereum. That's much like a security that's backed by the US dollar or gold or rubles or whatever else. But I don't have any confidence that you've got some wonderbutt fucking program that's going to be trading between all these cryptocurrencies and just fucking automatically making everybody money. It's just not going to happen. Somebody has to input money in order for that shit to work. And the idea that you're going to be mining the most profitable coin, okay. So basically they're asking you to sign up as one of their miners on their botnet, and all the hashing power is actually going to be from the users and not from Pelicoin or any other fucking group of people. I don't think this is worth anybody's money, honestly. I think if you want to make money trading cryptocurrencies, you should be trading cryptocurrencies, not giving people money to do it for you. Because the safest hands are always your own. But yeah, these guys, it seems like they're trying to be some equivalent to to maybe a DAO or something like that, or maybe a hedge fund or some shit like that. But I don't see them as a feasible market to be throwing your money into. That's just me. But back to reality here, and pardon me, I've had a lot of congestion issues over the last couple weeks, as I'm sure many of you have. Oh, wait a minute, somebody just messaged me. This was CC66 in the Telegram chan. How can I buy a Ferrari tomorrow? Not investing in Pelicoin, that's for damn sure. Anyway, no Lambo. You're gonna have to work for that one. Maybe if you're a miner, Anyway, continuing on, we got an article here on CoinDesk, and we've been kind of waiting for something like this, but I don't know. I've been expecting something like this from Ripple for a while now. In their own words, real companies talk Ripple XRP pilots. And this is by Michael Del Castillo. Yeah, Michael Castillo. I'm not going to give you the Del, dude. I don't do it to anybody else. I'm not going to do it to you, too. So, yeah, penis. This is authored on January 29th at 2018 at 1 or 1300 UTC. Just one before this month. That's how many financial firms had publicly expressed interest in using Ripple's cryptocurrency, XRP. Indeed, the blockchain startup has no lack of partners, from American Express to SEB, that uses its xCurrent product, which allows financial institutions to send transactions in real time without the innovative new crypto asset. But it was only a little-known company, Mexico-based Qualix, that had signed on to use Ripple's XRapid to leverage XRP for liquidity. Flash forward to today, however, and the narrative has seen a shift. In rapid-fire succession, 3 money transfer firms revealed that they are piloting the use of XRP. First was remittance giant MoneyGram. Then came MercuryFX, which conducts about $500 million in transaction volume per year. And finally, telecom provider IDT. To many, the news has been a vindication, not just for Ripple, but for the millions of mainstream investors who have embraced XRP as an alternative investment, helping it rise from mere cents early last year to nearly $4 this month. And while it's still an open question as to whether such tests will go live, during the Blockchain Connect conference in San Francisco last week, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse framed a general skepticism as old-fashioned and out of touch. Garlinghouse told attendees, quote, "When I hear banks say we're not going to use digital assets, I hear Randall Stevens saying AT&T will never use IP." Internal only. So far, the largest interested party in XRP is legacy money transmitter MoneyGram, which, in addition to being valued at $700 million, has over 350,000 locations around the world at which customers can pick up cash. However, the pilot does not directly serve any of those locations, according to a spokeswoman. Instead, the pilot is focused on implementing XRP within MoneyGram's internal corporate treasury transactions. In an email, she described an internal pilot for back-office functionality only. Quote, "MoneyGram is not using XRP in customer transactions," the spokeswoman told CoinDesk. That might seem a bit strange, since a whopping 89% of MoneyGram's revenue in 2016 was generated from its money transfer service, according to the company's most recent annual report, and XRP, among other cryptocurrencies, are widely targeted at cross-border money movement. But while those potential XRP use cases aren't being tested yet within MoneyGram, Holmes said that the company learns from the internal pilot could someday inform much broader applications. The spokeswoman said, quote, "The goal is to investigate whether it is efficient in terms of time and cost, and to see if it can be a viable addition to our FX trading." Consumer-facing. Perhaps more notably, London-based MercuryFX's interest in XRP is geared toward consumer-facing applications. Quote, "I imagine we will be able to begin using XRP for customer payments in the coming months," the founder and director of MercuryFX, Alistair Constance, told CoinDesk. He continued, saying, "As with all things, we will start with more modest sums in the thousands of dollars and increase by orders of magnitude from there. Come to the end of the pilot, we will not be surprised if XRP is carrying single transactions across the blockchain of $1 million or more." By far the most detailed pilot, the MercuryFX project will use XRapid to conduct payments for goods and services in China and Mexico, with the hope that it will expand to other emerging markets via partnerships with Ripple and other platforms. While software for the pilot is currently being integrated with Mercury FX, Constance said the pilot won't likely formally begin for 2 more months, before concluding about 3 months after that. Not all of Mercury FX's nearly $500 million in annual transaction volume will be conducted with XRP anytime soon, though, as Constance said, he's also exploring using some of Ripple's other blockchain products that don't require XRP. Quote, "Crypto is building into crypto from one side and fiat needs to build from the other side." He said Ripple lets fiat companies like us do that. Use unknown. While XRP dropped from its nearly $4 highs, it's held relatively stable between $1 and $1.50. Yet, it'll be interesting to see how news of new pilots and interest affect the price of the cryptocurrency, especially if new details about Coalex's work and IDT's pilot are revealed. IDT declined to comment for this report, other than to point to its existing statements, where Alfredo O'Hogan, of SVP of IDT's consumer payments business, said, quote, "We're excited to pilot Ripple's XRapid solution for on-demand liquidity. We expect that XRapid will enable us to settle more transactions in real time and at a lower cost." Coalex did not respond to inquiries before press time. Of note, though, is another newer use case for XRP, as venture capital. Last week, online marketplace Omni revealed that it had accepted a venture investment largely in XRP, which it plans to use in part to pay the bills, such as paying freelancers. With all these new projects implementing XRP into the plan, no one is possibly more relieved than Ripple executives themselves, who had known of the interest, but had largely been unable to share it with the public. Ripple's head of product, Ashish Birla, told CoinDesk, quote, "We're pleased to be able to share how payment providers are implementing XRapid to improve their payment flows. Remember, we just built and launched XRapid late last summer. This is just the beginning." Yeah. Disclosure: CoinDesk is a subsidiary of Digital Currency Group, which has an ownership stake in Ripple. Yes. I've always felt that Ripple was potentially going to be the catalyst that precipitates the collapse of global monetary markets, both fiat and crypto alike. I have yet to be proven correct about that, but I have been proven correct about a lot of other things, so you might want to consider that in your investments. As far as like institutionals, I don't really see that they're exclusive to any market anymore. It's like MoneyGram. Who gives a fuck about using MoneyGram if I can use Bitcoin? I mean, really, if I've got Bitcoin and Skype, forget about it. If I've got if I've got a connection to them via Skype, forget about it. I'll do transactions all day long. MoneyGram won't get a fucking Satoshi out of it. And that's the reality. You know, these people that think that they're going to come into this space and be some barrier of entry for others, it's just not going to happen. The rest of the crypto economy will simply navigate around you. You know, they'll be looking at what you're doing and they'll be, nah, fuck that, I don't want to do that shit. And that'll be it. You're not going to be controlling anything. You know, and in South Korea, they've gotten sober about this. You know, their government has said explicitly, dude, there's nothing we can do about this. The best that we can do is try to keep our exchanges compliant and hope for the best, that you guys will invest properly, or invest wisely rather, and bring some return home to mama. Because, I mean, really that's the best they can expect out of this situation. It's the best any government can expect out of this situation. You know, that, as far as I can see, most of cryptocurrency development and whatnot has been a response to feet dragging on the part of one party or multiple parties. You know, this latest debacle with Bitcoin being another example of it, where the transaction prices got to the point where people got sick of taking that shit and said, you know what, I'm just going to use Ethereum, or I'm just going to use Bitcoin Cash, or I'm just going to use Ripple, or something else, Verge, Litecoin, Dogecoin, something else other than this thing that when I use it, I get raped worse than if I use a fucking Visa card. At least then the fees are flat rate, and I don't get like arbitrarily nicked for some outrageous sum that I wasn't even anticipating paying in fees. So, you know, again, that's response to feet dragging. You know, Core been dragging their fucking feet forever about this fucking SegWit and Lightning Network and gotta force you to do your shit off chain bullshit for years now. When the obvious solution was bigger blocks, which hastened the development of fucking Bitcoin Cash. So, again, you're not going to stand in the way of this shit. And not even Bitcoin itself is going to stand in the way of this shit. And the sooner people figure that out, the better. You know, I still see a lot of murmurings around there like, you know, you're going to put a lasso around it and you're going to rein it in. And no, you're not. Your kid's already doing it. They're already enjoying freedoms you've never had here in the crypto sphere. And you think they're going to give that shit up? No, they're going to find a way around you. That's how nature works. That's how humans work. And that's how cryptocurrencies are going to work. And have worked up until now. Is we see a fucking border and it's like, okay, well, do we really have to deal with that? Or is there a digital option that we can employ that we can kind of circumvent that bullshit? And more times than not, we're finding that there really isn't any barriers. National barriers, forget it. You know, that's gone. Language barriers, that's not an issue either. So again, what are you going to try and put in the way of it? Maybe global termination of electricity? But what's the likelihood of that one? Pretty fucking zero. So, again, I'm glad to see that mainstream elements and entities are finally starting to take a serious look at what we're doing and starting to get a better understanding of exactly how reliable our systems are. You know, reliable enough that we can provide examples of projects that are willing to or wanting to make good, that intend to make good. We can discern between those and the ones that are just blowing smoke up your ass, telling you you're going to make guaranteed income off of anything you do in fucking cryptocurrency. And anybody promising you that, they're full of shit. I don't give a fuck how much you trust them. They're full of shit. They're talking about something that they don't know about, and they're telling you things that they cannot possibly predict. I mean, there's nobody in this space that looks at what's going on right now and could have looked at it a year ago and said, oh, this is exactly what's going to be happening. I mean, like my prediction about mining and bigger companies getting into it, I've been holding that flame for about 2.5 years, 3 years now, since ASICs basically, where I said somebody is going to throw their hat in the ring and it is going to be like a fucking earthquake hit or a volcano exploded or something, but it's going to be mega disruption with regard to the current standard of what we have in mining. And we've seen that already. And it's going to really, I think, break into a realm that we never anticipated, that mining will become cheaper and more efficient than we'd ever had before, and then we were ever able to create on our own. And I know that there are big companies involved in it so far, but their actual contribution, I think, has been relatively limited by comparison to the volume that's been put out by nothing more than volunteers, unpaid ones at that. And it's with that I'd like to go ahead and close out this episode. We've been running it hard all day. And we will be back again on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, you'll be able to find me on Twitter and Telegram, and also in the IRC chat room for Verge Currency. And also, I will do my best to get this and other episodes up on the old YouTube channel ASAP. So, until Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I want you all to trade safe. Do your homework. And watch out for your own bunghole, because as serious as the SEC may be taking this shit, stuff is slipping through the cracks, and you just might end up with your foot in it. Thank you very much for listening. I certainly appreciate the support. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. And I will talk to you again on Friday. Until then, you all have an excellent evening. And so for our closing dance, I've actually got a last dance picked out. And so here it is. Machine Head, Block, Last Dance here on Coin Metal.